So today I'm going to be showing you how to make this mosaic granny square, which is perfect for blankets, bags. The list is endless really. You can use them for so many. You can make individual squares and sew them together, or you can do one continuous carry on in continuous rounds to make one big blanket. The possibilities, like I say, are endless, and it's totally up to you. Okay, this project I'm just using some scrap yarn, and I've chosen a white yarn, DK, and 3 shades of blue. So we're going to start off. We're going to start off by making a traditional granny square up until the 3rd round, and then we're going to change it a little bit to get the texture of the mosaic. So to start, we're going to create a slip knot. I'm using a 4mm hook. You're going to need some scissors as well, and also a needle for sorting out your ends if you choose to sew them in at the end. Okay, so we've got the slip knot on our hook, and we're going to start by chaining 4 because we want to form our first ring, and then we're going to slip stitch to the first chain, and there we have our ring, and we're going to work into the middle. So we're going to chain 3. This chain 3 is going to count as our first double crochet. I'm using US terms because that's what I'm used to working with. So in US terms it's double crochet, in UK terms it would be the treble crochet. Okay, so into the ring now, the center of the ring, we're going to make 2 more double crochets. So yarn over into the center, yarn over, pull through 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the final 2. There's your first double crochet. And we're going to make another one, yarn over into the ring, yarn over, pull through 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the final 2 loops. Now you've created your first shell. Your shell contains 3 double crochets. Remember, the first 3 chains count as a double crochet. Okay, so now we're going to chain 2, which is going to be the first corner of our granny square. And now we're going to make another shell, so we're going to make 3 more double crochets. Okay, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Now we've got 2 shells. Okay, now we need to do another corner, so chain 2 for our next corner. Now we've got 2 corners and 2 shells. Okay, so now we're going to make another shell, which is 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we've got 3 shells, and we need another corner, so we chain 2 for our 3rd corner, and we're going to make 1 final shell. So again, 3 double crochets makes 1 shell. 1, 2, and 3. So now we've got our 4 shells, but we need 1 more corner to join it up. So we're going to chain 2, and we're going to find the top of the chain 3 that we began with, and we're going to insert our hook and make a slip stitch. So we're just going to pull through and then pull through the loop on your hook, and there we have a slip stitch. Now we're going to fasten off. So for this, I always, when I'm changing colours in a granny square and I'm fastening off, I always chain 2, cut my yarn not too long, and then pull your loop and then cinch it down. And the reason why I chain 2 is because that is knotted, it's not going anywhere. Now that's a bit, it can be a pain if you want to undo it, but if you're not going to undo it, then you know that that's not going to come undone. Okay, so there's your first round. Right, now I'm going to go for the lightest blue. Let's get rid of this white. I'm going to go for the lightest blue colour, and I'm just going to unravel a little bit off. Okay, and again we're going to make a slip knot. You don't need a long tail for this, and I'll show you why at the end. You don't have to do it the way I'm doing it. This is just the way I do it. That everybody's got their own sort of method of doing things, but this is mine. So anyway, so we're going to put we've made a slip knot on our hook. Okay, grab our yarn. Right, now we're on to, this is round 2. So to begin, again we're going to chain 3, and again this is going to count as our first stitch, and then we're going to make a shell. So we need to make 2 more double crochets to form our first shell. Okay, so 1, 2, chain 1. Now we're not going to complete this corner, we're going to complete this corner on the other way, on the way at the end. So we've chained 1, and now we're going to make 3 double crochets to form our first shell for the corner. And the corner is going to consist of 2 shells, chain 2 in this, all in this chain 2 space in this corner. Okay, so we're going to yarn over and we're going to make our first shell, which is 3 double crochets. Okay, then we're going to chain 2 for our corner, and then back into the same space we're going to make 3 more double crochets for our second shell. We're going to chain 1, always chain 1 when you're leaving a shell. After the shell, chain 1, unless it's a corner, then it's chain 2, but when for the sides it's chain 1. Okay, so again in the next corner we're going to make another shell, so that's 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and again I'll push some yarn. Oop. And again we need to make another corner, so chain 2, and then again we need to make another shell back into this space. Okay, and this is going to be how the corners are formed for the rest of the square. It's always going to be 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. So shell, chain 2, shell, and then chain 1 to leave. Okay, but anyway, so again we're going to make the second shell, so 3 double crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, and we're leaving the corner, so we're going to chain 1. So next corner we're going to do the same again, shell, chain 2, shell. So 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 2 for the corner, and another shell. So 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. And as we're leaving the corner, we're going to chain 1 again. Now we're getting back to the beginning, and as you notice, there's only 1 shell, so we need to make another shell and a chain 2 for the corner. So in this space where the other shell is, we're going to make 3 double crochets to form the shell. 1, 2, 3, and then chain 2 for the corner. And because we're at the end of the round, we're going to find the 3rd chain, which is a little bit difficult, but it is there. 1, 2, 3, find that 3rd chain at the top, and we're going to slip stitch into it. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through both loops, and there's your 2nd round. Okay, and once again we're going to fasten off again, so we're going to chain 2, snip the yarn, pull up, and then cinch that down, and there we have our 2nd round. Now what I like to do, and this is just a personal preference, you can either weave in these ends with a needle. I always leave this end to last, this middle end. You actually pull that tighter now, but I always leave that to the end, so that at a glance, when I'm, for instance, if I'm sewing granny squares together, that is so that I know that that's the wrong side. It just makes it a visual, sort of visually easier, if you like. Okay, so now we've got these 2. And all I do is I take the 2 ends, because they're coming from the same place, and I just pull gently till it tightens, not too tight, and then I double knot like so, and you can pull that one a little bit tighter. Okay, and then like I said, you can either choose to weave these in, totally up to you, but who wants to weave in when you don't have to? That's what I say. And then I'm just going to cut close to the knot, and then when you pull it, and of course this is the back, so you don't, when you pull it, get focus, you can't see it, and that's not coming out, it's not coming undone because you've double knotted it. It's literally staying there for life. I've made dozens of blankets using this method, and it stays forever. So okay, so let's move on to round 3, and this is where we start the mosaic pattern. Okay, so I'm going to go on to slightly darker blue. Again, I'm going to make a slip knot, and I'm going to insert onto my hook, pull it tight. Okay, right, now the corners, like I said before, the corners are always going to be the same. Shell, chain 2, shell. That never changes. Okay, it's the sides where the difference, there's a little bit of a difference, not much of a difference, but it makes a lot of difference. It gives it texture. It just looks really, really nice as well. Okay, so to start, we're going to once again chain 3, and again this counts as your first stitch, and we're going to make 2 more double crochets to form the shell. Okay, pull them tight, there we go. Right, move them out of the way now. Right, and now we're going to chain 1 because we're leaving the corner. Okay, So now we're going to go into this space here, which is your chain 1 space from your previous round. Okay, so for this we're going to go we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to start by doing a double crochet as usual. Okay, but now we're going to do a treble crochet, but we're not going to go into this space here. We're going to go into the shell from the previous round below here, and we're going to go and do a front post treble crochet around this middle double crochet. Okay, so for this we're going to yarn over twice. Okay, then we're going to come down, you're going to insert your hook in between the first two, around, and then it's going to come out and it's going to push up like that. Okay, then you're going to yarn over, pull through, and then you're going to pull your hook up like this. Okay, and then you're going to yarn over, you're going to pull through the first two, and you've got 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over again, you're going to pull through the first 2 loops, you've got 2 loops on your hook. Again, you're going to yarn over and pull through the final 2 loops. Okay, now you've got a double crochet, a front post treble crochet, and now to finish we're still going to make a shell, so we're going to finish with a final double crochet. Okay, and this is how your sides are going to look, okay, for the 3rd round. Right, so again we're going to chain 1 because we're leaving that shell, and now we come to a corner and we're going to do exactly the same as the previous corner, shell, chain 2, shell. Okay, so we're going to do that. So we'll make our first shell, which is 3 double crochets, chain 2 for the corner, and now we're going to make the final shell for the corner with 3 double crochets. And because pull some yarn off, and because we're leaving the corner, we're going to chain 1, and now we're back in the middle. Okay, so again for the side we're going to do a double crochet into the chain space, and then we're going to do a front post treble crochet around this stitch in the shell from the 1st round. Okay, so yarn over twice, go in between the first 2, and then through like so, yarn over, pull through, you've got 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, and don't forget to pull this up because you need it to come up to the height. So yarn over, pull through the first 2, you got 3 loops left, yarn over, pull through the first 2, you got 2 loops left, yarn over, pull through the final 2 loops, and there you've completed your front post treble crochet. Yarn over because we need to do our final double crochet for this shell. Okay, so there we go, we've completed it again. So now we're going to yarn over and make a chain to get to the corner, and once again the corner is going to consist of 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Okay, so our first shell, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 2 for our corner, and then our final shell, 1, 2, 3. And because we're leaving the corner, chain 1. Okay, and now we're back at the side again. So again, we need to make our shell for the side, so we're going to double crochet, yarn over twice for our front post treble crochet, and once again we're going in between and then through, yarn over, pull through, pull your hook up to get the height, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and you've completed your front post treble crochet. So yarn over to make our final double crochet for this shell, and we're leaving that, so we're chaining 1 and we're back to the corner again. So again we're going to shell, chain 2 and shell, so 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and then your final shell, 1, 2, 3. Chain 1 because we're leaving the corner, we're back again to the side. Okay, so into the space we're going to make our first double crochet, and then we're going to make a front post treble crochet in this middle stitch again. So we're going to yarn over twice, down, insert your hook between the first and second, and bring it out between the second and third, yarn over, pull through, pull your hook up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and you've made your front post treble crochet. Again, you need to make a final double crochet in the chain space, so we're going, and just move that out the way so you can see the chain space, and then double crochet into there, and then we're going to chain 1 because we're leaving, and now we're back to our first corner and we need to make a shell. So 1, 2, 3, and then we need to make a chain 2 for the corner, and again we're going to find the third chain, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to slip stitch into the top of the into the top of the chain 3 that we began with, and there we're going to chain 2 because we're going to cut our yarn again, snip that off, pull it up, cinch that down, use your fingers if you've got nails, or cinch that down, again not going anywhere. Look at that, isn't that pretty? That is absolute, I love this granny square, it's just so beautiful. Okay, once again as we go, now as you can see, my tails are not together, so I'm just gonna leave them till the end to sort that out, and I will need to use a needle for that, so I'm not gonna worry about that just for now. We're gonna carry on and we're gonna do round 3, and for round 3 we're gonna use the darkest blue. And again we're going to put a slip knot. We're going to make a slip knot, and we're going to insert our hook, pull that tight. Okay, right, again to begin we're going to chain 3, which again counts as our first stitch. We're going to make a shell, so 2 more double crochets into this chain 2 space, which is the corner from the previous round. We're going to chain 1, Right, now on this round, as you can see, we've got 2 spaces, so we need to make 2 of these. Okay, so to begin, into this first space, the chain 1 space from the previous round, we're going to make a double crochet, and then again into this stitch, into this middle stitch, we're going to make our front post treble crochet. Okay, so front post treble crochet in between again, and then out, yarn over. Oh, it's getting caught. Be careful, it does get caught sometimes if you're not careful. Pull through, pull up, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the final 2, and again into this chain space here, there, we're going to make our final double crochet. Okay, so you'll see that the front post double crochet, treble crochet, goes into not the previous row but the one below. Okay, so effectively you're covering up this chain space with the treble front post treble crochet. Okay, now we're going to work into the next chain 1 space, and again we're going to go into the chain 1 space and we're going to make a double crochet. Now we're going to make our front post treble crochet into around the posts of this stitch. Okay, so yarn over twice, and again insert your hook, and then so that it's on your hook, yarn over, pull through, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Hopefully this blue isn't too dark. I've got a hair on my finger. There we go. Okay, once again into this chain space we need to make our final double crochet. Okay, and once again we're leaving that, so we're chaining 1, we're back at the corner, and you know by now that this is shell, chain 2, shell. So into the corner, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and then again our final shell, 1, 2, 3. Okay, again leaving the corner, we're going to chain 1 and we're back on the side, along the side, and we're going to work into the first chain with a double crochet. Once again we're going to do a front post double crochet around the middle stitch of this shell, yarn over twice, insert your hook into the front, pull it through between the 2nd and 3rd stitch, yarn over, pull through and pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and once again we need a final double crochet into the chain space, and there we go. Chain 1 because we're leaving. Right, so now I'm not going to explain how to do the stitch, this is where we can carry on now, because you should hopefully have it by now, but if not, just rewind the video and pause, whatever you need to do to rewatch it if you're struggling. Okay, can be a little bit tricky when you first do this, but once you get into the swing of it, it's good. It's a good stitch. Okay, so we're going to again do what we did here, double crochet, front post, double crochet around the stitch, the middle stitch, and then double crochet into the chain space. We're leaving chain 1, corner, we're going to make a shell again, 3 double crochets, chain 2, and again 3 double crochets. Chain 1 because we're leaving the corner. Again, we're going to go into the first chain space, we're going to make a double crochet, we're going to yarn over twice for our front post treble crochet, and then into the chain space again we're going to make our final double crochet. We're leaving, so chain 1, and we're working into the next chain space, and we're working a double, wrapping the yarn twice for our front post treble, and again into the same chain space our final double. I'm going to chain 1. Okay, we're back at the corner again, so we're going to shell 1, 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2 for our corner, and again 3 double crochets for our final shell of this corner, chain 1. Again, we're at the side again, so we're going to double crochet into the first chain space, front post treble crochet around the post of this stitch, and then we're going to double crochet back into the chain space and chain 1. Next chain space, double crochet, wrap twice, front post double crochet, again double crochet into the chain space, chain 1, and then we're finally going to complete the first corner with a shell, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to make our final chain 2 for the corner. Now this is difficult to see because the wool's quite dark on this, but we're going to find our chain 3, top of our chain 3, because it's dark it's a little bit fiddly. Okay, and then we're going to, once again we're going to slip stitch, and then we're going to fasten off. So we're going to snip our yarn, pull up and cinch that shut. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so I'm going to go back to the white, and we're now on round 5. So I'm going to attach, made a slip knot, I'm going to make a slip knot again, that didn't attach very well, and then I'm going to attach my yarn, pull it tight. Okay, so going to once again chain 3, 2 double crochets to complete the chain 3 again, counts as your first stitch. We're going to make our first shell, chain 1. Now we've got 3 spaces, okay, so we're going to make a double crochet in the first chain space. We're going to make our front post treble into around the post of that stitch, and then we're going to make a double crochet back into the chain space, and we're going to chain 1. And my yarn is getting tangled. Okay, so you'll notice when we get to here, you'll notice that you've got this here, which is our front post treble crochet from the 3rd round. Okay, so all we're going to do, and this is where it actually gets a little bit easier because it's quite prominent, you can't miss it. Okay, so again we're going to double crochet into the chain space, and now we're going to front post treble around this. Okay, so it's easier because it just, you can see it more clearly. Okay, so we're going to do our front post treble around, and then our double back into the chain space, chain 1. Okay, and for this, now this is our previous corner from the 3rd round, so we're going to work into the chain space. We're going to put a double crochet, we're going to yarn over twice for a front post treble crochet around the stitch because we're on the side again, and we're going to make our final double crochet into the chain space, chain 1, and then once again we're back at the corner. Which is shell, chain 2, shell. Okay, we've completed the corner, chain 1, we're back on the side again. So first chain space, double crochet, front post treble, and then double crochet into the chain space to complete that shell. And again here we're working into the chain space with a double crochet. We're doing a front post treble around the previous front post treble we did in the 3rd round, like so, and then we're putting the final double crochet back into the chain space, chain 1. Again we're back here, double crochet into the chain space, treble, front post treble around this stitch here, and then final double crochet back into the chain space, chain 1, and again we're back at the corner. Okay, so I'm going to do the rest off camera, and I'll meet you at the end of the round. Okay, so we're back and we're at the final corner. So once again we're going to create the first shell. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and we're going to find the top of the chain 3 from the beginning, and we're going to slip stitch to join the round. Okay, and then we're going to chain 2, because we're going to cut the yarn again. So chain 2, snip, pull up, and then cinch that shot. Okay, and there we have our mosaic granny square. Such a gorgeous granny square. It's probably my favourite to make. I just love the texture of it. So there we go. I hope this has been helpful, and I hope to see you again soon. Happy crocheting. Bye.